Hello friends, we have completed with the incomes of the head. Now we are going on to provisions for filing of return of income. It is also known as ROI. This is a pre-written note so that you can easily understand it. This chapter has no practical sums, only it is a mere provision chapter. All the theory relating to filing of return of income is given in this chapter. So let's move on and see what is the provisions related to filing of return of income. First, section 139 subsection 1. In this chapter, the basic thing you have to remember is the section. The sections are very important for this chapter because if anything asked from this chapter will be related to the sections only, not more than that. Because in the question they can ask, write the theory relating to section 139 subsection 1. So you don't know what is section 139 subsection 1, you can't write the entire theory. If they say filing return of income is compulsory, that means you can write something from this. After reading this, filing of return of income is compulsory, but you still don't know the section, there will be a huge problem for that. So this chapter is a 5-page theory chapter. All notes are given in this chapter, so you don't need to worry. You will automatically memorize it as and when I teach you. So let's move on. Section 139 subsection 1, filing return of income is compulsory. What do you understand by this? Filing return of income is compulsory. This means that even if you have any nil return, nil, that is if you have earned any zero income or you have earned any losses, even though then you have to file return of income because it is compulsory. The government wants to keep the track of the SSC, whether he has earned zero income, whether he has earned profit or whether he has earned loss. So you have to file return irrespectively. The due dates for filing return of income are as follow. Non-audited filing of return. Non-audited filing of return means the SSC who has not audited his books of accounts. For such SSC, filing of return of income, the due date is 31st July of the assessment year. Due date means you have to file before the due date or on the due date, not after the due date. Okay, filing of the return should be done before the due date or at the due date, that is 31st July of the assessment year. Audited filing of return. Audited filing of return means SSC who has audited his books of accounts. For such SSC, filing of return of income is, the due date is 30th September of the assessment year. So now you might have a doubt in your mind why non-audited SSC filing of return is on 31st July of the assessment year and audited filing of the return is on 30th September of the assessment year. Now let me explain you why it is so. On 31st March of the financial year, the SSC usually draw the final accounts. Okay, means he drafts his final accounts. They are not final and conclusive. They are in a drafted manner. After that they check their accounts. If there is any adjustment, so they adjust their accounts. So it takes at least 1 or 2 months. So the government has given you the period of up to 3 months. So you can file the return up to 31st July of the assessment year. That means 3 months from the year end of the financial year is given to the non-audited SSC to file the return. Okay, but to the audited SSCs, the filing of return due date is 30th September of the assessment year because the SSC has to hire the auditor so that he can check the books of accounts. Okay, for checking the books of accounts to the auditor, it takes 1 or 2 months. So for that also they have given the time. So that's why there is an increased period up to 30th September of the assessment year. I hope you have understood why it is so. If anyone asks you why it is so, you can explain it to them. Okay, I want you to please copy this much. First, please pause the video and copy this much. I hope you all have copied. Section 139 subsection 1b is a very simple section. Such questions might come for true or false in exam. Filing of e-return. It is mandatory to file e-return. See, filing return of income is compulsory, but it is also compulsory to file such return in e-return format, that is computerized format, electronic format. Okay, Please don't copy it right now. You copy section 139 subsection 1b and section 139 subsection 3 together. Now let's see return of losses. As I told you in section 139 subsection 1, filing of return of income is compulsory irrespective of zero income, irrespective of losses, irrespective of profit. You have to file the return. So this is the clarification for that along with the section 139 subsection 3, return of losses. Return of losses should be filed before due date as per section 139 subsection 1. Exception, this is very important. Exception means no need of due date, that is no need of filing return, and still such losses can be deducted and carry forward. I hope you have studied. Wait, I'll show you. I hope you all have that chart which I have given for set off and carry forward. I have in my own notes. Let me see and show you from there. See, I have got, first let's read exception again. Exception means no need of due date, that is no need of filing return, and still such losses can be deducted and carry forward. This is a part of set off and carry forward chapter. And which are the losses? House property losses and unabsorbed depreciation. Please remove this chart which I have taught you earlier. I know you have this chart with you. So now see, income of house property and unabsorbed depreciation. Return filing up to the due date not compulsory. Not compulsory. This means that even if the return is not filed up to the due date related to income of house property loss and unabsorbed depreciation loss, then also such losses can be carried forward and be set off. Okay. So this is the clarification given in this section 139 subsection 3. I hope this is clear to you all. At the end of this chapter, we'll revise the entire chapter. So now let's copy section 139 subsection 1b and section 139 subsection 3. Please pause the video and copy. I hope you have paused the video and copied it. See how whichever section I have given, that all are important. If you have studied that much also, it is more than enough. No need of studying more. If you are capable, if you can memorize all the section relating to this chapter, then move ahead. There are 3 more sections. You can check it from the practice manual. Now let's see belated return. Section 139 subsection 4, belated return. So now let me ask you a question. If you have not filed the return up to the due date as per given under section 139 subsection 1, whether the Income Tax Act allows the assessee to file the return after such due date? So the answer is yes, because there is a section 139 subsection 4, belated return, that is losses cannot be carried forward in belated return other than exception in section 134. We'll read this, we'll take it as a note, we'll read this later. First we'll understand belated return. Belated return means simply like how we wish a person belated happy birthday. That means after the birthday we are wishing him, so we are adding belated to him. Belated happy birthday. So that means after the due date you have filed the return. So such belated return is allowed. But what is the period of belated return? The period of belated return is expiry of 1 year from the end of the relevant year. That relevant year means financial year. If you want, please write with pencil financial year, that is before filing the return of the next assessment year. Okay. Or completion of the assessment, that is belated return can be either filed before the expiry of 1 year from the end of the relevant financial year, that is before filing the return of the next assessment year. Next assessment year is 31st July of the assessment year, or completion of the assessment, whichever is earlier. See, belated return cannot be revised. This part you will come to know when I will be teaching section 139 subsection 5, revised return. So let's keep it aside for a time being. Now read this. Note, losses cannot be carried forward in belated return other than exception in section 139 subsection 3. That means that if you have filed a belated return, the losses that you have incurred, that is the losses as per this, all this losses, income from other sources, no, income from other sources, where it is income from other sources, then speculative, normal business and all. If you have incurred any losses, if you